Mr. Mister is the story of Yahya Bas. It's a story of a life, of someone whose identity is questioned, having found himself in a UK detention centre after returning home from Syria. Yahya's telling a story, or rather writing it down for someone he refers to only as Mr., his interrogator. Mr. wants to pin him down as a singular threat, as a criminal, and someone who should remain locked up. The book also tells the story of Britain over the last 25 years. It follows Yahya growing up, watching the news of the world from the 1990s through the events of 9/11 and 7/7, the Iraq War and its aftermath. Yahya ends up using poetry as a way to articulate his perspective and, in a sense, to speak back into a world that feels hostile to him. But his use of language brings him the kind of infamy that ultimately forces him to flee the country. The only thing about identity that's interesting to me to write about, really, is how much of it can be undone. The way language can be used to either construct or unravel a sense of ourselves. There are novels I love that take on this idea of a constructed self, a sort of life story set to the backdrop of a national myth. And I wanted to see if there was a form that could hold a life like Yahya Bas's in a kind of episodic, picaresque, a life and times tale, which also, I hope, can be told in multiple ways. But this is an adventure, a story of self-definition, but it's also one of finding a sense of freedom in not belonging, and maybe also an embracing of something else, asking more from what we're told and who we think we are.